Picture Indiana in the 1980s. The town of Hawkins is the kind of quiet, suburban community where the biggest nighttime hazard is the flickering streetlights. Serious danger is virtually non-existent around here. That quiet routine shatters one evening when a 12-year-old boy named Will Byers vanishes without a trace while riding his bicycle home. The local police treat it as a typical runaway case, moving at a glacial pace. Will's core group of friends, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, refuse to accept that. They grab their walkie-talkies and flashlights, heading out into the dark to find him themselves. Deep in the rainy woods, the boys stumble upon a shock. They don't find Will. Instead, they discover a terrified, soaking wet girl with a shaved head who calls herself 11. They quickly learn she possesses powerful telekinetic abilities. She can manipulate matter, throw objects across a room, and shatter glass with her mind. By attempting to solve a standard missing person case, these three middle schoolers have walked directly into a highly classified supernatural conspiracy. The source of that conspiracy sits completely hidden on the outskirts of town. A massive, brutalist government laboratory operates behind heavy security fencing, standing in stark contrast to the innocent suburban neighborhoods just a few miles away. This geographical layout maps the guarded facility's proximity to the civilian grid. 11, a survivor of experiments inside, recently broke out. Connecting the lab, the woods, and Will's last location reveals a clear pattern. Her abilities prove the lab secrets tied directly to Will's disappearance. At the same time, Will's mother, Joyce, is fighting a desperate emotional battle. Even when the authorities try to present her with physical evidence of her son's death, she absolutely refuses to believe the official story. She starts hearing his voice through the walls of her home and engineers a breakthrough method to communicate. By stringing up standard, blinking Christmas lights over letters painted on her wallpaper, she allows Will to spell out messages from across an unseen barrier. The superpowered runaway mapping his coordinates and a mother frantically tracking blinking lights both confirmed the exact same terrifying fact. Will is alive, but he is trapped somewhere just out of physical reach. That place out of reach is called the Upside Down. It is a dark, toxic, and decaying mirror dimension existing concurrently with the real world. This diagram shows Hawkins resting on top, with a hostile reflection connected directly beneath it. A jagged rupture through the barrier reveals a hunting portal used by the apex predator, the Demogorgon, the exact creature that dragged Will into the dark. The threat escalates as the Demogorgon utilizes these tears in reality to actively hunt fresh victims across the surface of Hawkins. Bringing Will home requires a targeted infiltration into a hostile alien ecosystem. The adults and the kids pool their intelligence. Joyce and Police Chief Hopper force their way into the toxic dimension to physically locate Will, navigating the rotting landscape in hazmat suits. Meanwhile, back in the real world, the Demogorgon corners the kids inside their middle school. The outmatched humans fire weapons and sling rocks, fighting a chaotic battle against the supernatural ferocity of the monster through flickering lights and flying debris. Seeing her friends seconds away from death, 11 makes a final choice. She steps directly into the monster's path, committing to use the absolute dangerous limit of her telekinetic powers. She pins the monster to the wall and disintegrates it into ash to save her friends. The energy required for the attack is devastating, and she seemingly perishes in the process, vanishing into thin air. Her sacrifice buys the adults the time they need. They successfully pull Will from the toxic dimension, resuscitate him, and reunite him with his family and friends in the hospital. But the rescue leaves a lingering trail of dread. A month later, Will secretly coughs up a slug-like organism, proving he still carries a piece of that dimension inside his lungs. The horror of the parallel world works because it tests the limits of childhood loyalty. We track the creature's defeat because we've seen these friends risk everything to keep their group together. If you want to dive deeper into the mysteries of Hawkins, subscribe to TV Show Decoded for more character deep dives, ending explainers, and